Hello, welcome to another video. Right, so today we're going to be shooting on and finishing off this green shed that we started making last night. So I've had a bit of a thought overnight. This doorway, we're going to scrap these doors. Gonna do my head in. And then what we need to do is take all these, get rid. And I'm going to set these in to end pretty much in the same place. I'm going to have one that side. And I'm going to have one this side as well. So, we'll tidy up some of that stuff that we did yesterday. Okay. I'll shift this back in behind there as well. Okay, so we don't need that. These can vamonos. That one can stay there. But I'm half tempted to, with these, to rotate them on Z by 90. Mainly for the reason of so we have a nice backing plate to put our roller doors on. I sort of argued with these last night for a good while. So let's select them both. Let's select the middle. There you go. And we will GZ down. Basically just added a support beam through. There you go. So that's going to be our base for this, right? That is not doing me any favors. I'm not liking that. Where's my other one? Let's go back on this one. I think that's better. Yeah, so you're going to have the roller door go in here instead. So that's going to be our plan of attack for today. So if we get this wheel snap, can I do that and you snap cursor to selected? Yes, we can. Okay, start off with a cube, scale this right way down. So we're going to have the roller door pretty much indented back a bit, but not quite on the concrete wall and all. That just needs to come out slightly. That can come out slightly too. Yeah, so the roller door will half be and half not. So it'll be attached to the metal girder anyway. So let's scale Y in a bit. We'll duplicate it and then we'll scale Y in just a bit more because that's where our door is going to be then. Is by there. Okay, so scale Z and let's go all the way from top to bottom here. You don't need to go into the floor, obviously. Bring it to the extrude on Z. We'll extrude this out. We'll go Control A. These two Control B. Oh, what have I selected here? Oh, these two I want. Okay. Not really making this easy for myself, am I? There should be another cube here somewhere. Yeah. Oh, wrong one. There you go. Right. Bear me 2 seconds. Right, let's carry on. So we're going to move this one, and we're going to grab that as well. I think it's just a bit more out. Okay. In theory, you could extrude that out. Scale, you and you, you and you, Control B. Yeah, just it looks like an actual housing. Okay. So I'm hoping that should give quite a decent thing. So we're looking at X. So looking at pretty much a 5 meter opening, which I think that should be more than fine for getting grain trailers in, surely. Okay. I have that there. I'll bring you down to there. So if we set a cursor to, oh no, hang on, I'm doing this wrong. Geometry, snapping a cursor to selected GZ1, 2, and I'm gonna set the origin to 3D cursor. There you go. And then obviously when it goes up, it'll go up to there. And that should be fine. So in regards to these girders, I need to make a new texture from. But first we'll try and find roller doors. So I use the website FreePBR. That's what I use. I have said it on there before. Actually trying to figure out what it is. Is it under metal? It should be, shouldn't it? What is a roller door sort of texture, but I suppose I'll have a look quick. How's everyone's Wednesday going? can't seem to find one. Okay. Another one I do use is Polyhaven. Textures. I don't actually know what you'd call it. What would you call it? Let's just have a look at metals then. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Happy good days. We'll wait for that to download quickly. Okay, control stay. So another thing we can open up here is materialize. This is another thing I use. So I need to open up this up now. This is running a lot smoother than yesterday. Textures, and I think this one. And we'll open the height map as well for it. Okay, and now we're going to create a normal map. And that's us done, and then we want to save it as PNG. And that is that done. So we've got them three, which is all good. So if we go into our shading tab, okay, they're all wrong. There, that's fine. We're going to go new. Set this to like a weird blue. Shutter door. And any done yet? I use Node Wrangler. And obviously it's almost right at the bottom. Not yet. I sort of remember half and half how to do them, but I can't remember. Okay. So this is a door, rotation and scale. I'm gonna do to bounds. Yeah, done. It's quite a big one, so can we go any wider? Is it gonna scale Y? And GX. I do need to add one in. Okay, that could have actually turned out a lot worse than what I was thinking it could be. The texture I want to change is these ones. I'll open up GIMP quickly. I swear that what I used to do was use the AO map from the AO map and then just enable it on green instead of the red and blue as well, and then that was that one. Bear with me a second. I just need to create, as simple as it is, just it's a 2048 by 2048 and just set it to a very dim red. And then just paint the whole thing. How do you paint on that? File, export as. So roughness and mechanic, are they metallic? Sorry, is that red and blue then? On the specular map, or am I mistaken? Oh, good God. We'll call this red metal .png 8-bit export. Do you know which is which? That might be a good thing for me to write down, to be honest. So obviously specular is equal to roughness metallic Barney CB, I bet. Barney KGB. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. Does it not work that well with the metallic? Download it. I'll give it a go. Because if that works, it saves me a bit of time. Anyways, right. Back here then. I'm going to change this steel colour. So we'll get rid of that. We'll stick you into that. But instead of using the diffuse from there, we will use the red metal one that I've just made, but keep everything else. This is... Oh, bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, that's fine. I'll use it for the galvan metal then. Just need to get all these selected. I don't know what these are actually going to look like, mind. Control A, Shift N. Okay, that actually looks better. So basically what I'm using is the galvanized texture that I've got in my gate. And it works. Okay, awesome. So now we need... I did have pre-made concrete before, but I can't remember where I put it. Do they have any... let's have a look. Concrete, but I want pre-made concrete. This is actually not too bad of a website either. I don't know if everyone's used them. How much quicker is it using that stuff? Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to go on today. This one will go... cast concrete. Right. So we're lucky with this one. We don't actually have to go out of Giants' files, really. Program files, file and simulated data. Maps. The textures shared is... I've seen concrete somewhere. Haha, yeah, generic concrete. This is one I used before and it worked quite well. Okay. So let's do rotation and scale. This might not work, but we'll try it. That one. No, that don't work. Let's try it with... turn off. I'll have to do everything individual, I think. So you, and you. Shift and that's going to be a problem. A Shift A, sorry. No, Control A. Why would it go Control A? What am I doing wrong? Control A, rotation and scale. No. I've never used vehicle shader, so I haven't a clue what I'm doing with it. Smart UV projection. Scale by 5. Get rid of the UV map. I'm going to do myself a favour. I'm going to scale Z by 0.7. I'm going to drop this down. And then we're going to duplicate it. And then we're going to bring another one up. Mainly... why are you selecting you? I don't want you selected. As you selected. Basically, you can do it where never mind. I can't be bothered doing it. I'll go back. Right. I'll keep selecting these. No, I don't need them. I only want this outside. Okay. Obviously, my models aren't the best, I know that much. that could work. Okay, I like that. Let's do this side. Scale you, scale by 10, then GX, and across until you meet. I wouldn't mind, in theory, moving like these back in slightly, like that. I think that'll make it look better than just a fat block. Where is it? Yeah. Set origin to geometry. Let's do that. We'll snap cursor to selected, and then we'll just move this out of the way. I think that'll probably work better. Okay. So select the top. You scale by 5. You don't need to be that big, do you? You're not really going to see this. That was a good spot by me then. I'd have left it otherwise. But I feel like that would act better because then it acts like the grain's not going to get stuck on the top. It will actually drop down. So if I did scale shift Z. No, that's not going to work. Okay. Let's do it a different way then. Let's do these sides first, and then we'll go scale Y outwards. No, because apparently you're too much. Scale Y. Okay, individual it is then. Oh, have I got individual? No, it's a medium point. Okay. That's fine. You've probably got a lot quicker way of doing this than I have anyway. I'm hoping by doing this way as well, I'll get past Giants' stupid fill plane collision thing. Okay, and if we snap this back to cursor. Yeah, that looks much better. You got nice thick bottoms. The thing is, I really want to, like, for some reason the shift select won't work on this. Probably just a bad modeling. Yeah, I know. I've been battling my blimmin' things from before, and I'm not a big fan. Okay, let's go Control B. Give you a slight bevel. You don't need much. Let's not do that. Just leave it as that. Just gives it a bit more rounded edge. Okay. Let's just turn you off. These need to have... I just need to flip the culls on them. Bear with. There you go. Ta-da! Right. That can vanish. I mean, Will it work? Probably. Can I turn that down? Just... If anything, I need to make this red colour a lot dimmer. I need to make it like this, really. I think that's done. I don't know. I made it darker, but we'll see how it goes. This now, I don't know whether to make this galvanized. Galv. Change you to that color. And I'll go proper galv with this one then. So it would be these three. And then the unwrap and scale 10. That usually works. And GX. I probably could do more detail than I am, but I don't really know what to do with it, to be fair. Okay, so that's roller, shutter, frame, and that is a shutter door. That might come in handy down the line. Move these two grain sheds. Should be that. I'm trying to keep everything, yeah, in the same bit. Right. Okay, that's the design I'm going. There's going to be another one here then. Where's my roof? There. You need to go to grain roof. And I need to move you then into... Why don't let me move you into the fucking collection? It's a pain in the ass when it does this. There you go. Okay. Now then, guttering I need to add in on the sides, and then I also need to add in a couple on the top. So let's do shift thing. I want to select these edges. Scale Y into pretty much close. Would that be too big of one? You probably could do it where I do that because it is a grain shed. That should be right. Let's add vents on the sides. I tend to get carried away with doing stuff. feel like that can actually go to concrete. Let's assign it to concrete instead. And scale y by 5. Probably way too big. Okay. Translucent glass. Oh, that's the next thing. Not plain, sorry. We'll add in. No, you can go away. Add a cube. Add an array. I probably should have looked up on some reference images or something similar rather than just trying to guess it all from my mind. That probably would be a good way to do it, but I haven't. Okay. So, if let's just take these. I do sort of want to use the same normal, and then we're going to separate the selection. Now we're going to 2. And then the same at the bottom. Set the origin to geometry. Okay, A, Shift N. This is going to be grain. Hi, dude. How you doing? Is it Andres or Andreas? Probably Andreas, is it? I know there's a window texture from Giants. Window diffuse. And somehow it works, and I can't actually remember where it is, but it is somewhere. Bear with me 2 seconds. Need to check the boys quick. Okay, back. Same as normal then. We're farming some data. Is it mapped? I don't know where to look for it. Is there just a window diffuse somewhere, or am I being silly? No, it's here. Right. Which one did I need? If I go with this one. But I'm not going to use you. I'll use a specular for it. Because the normal... Oh, hang on. Go again. So I am going to use all of it, but I'll change the normal in it, which is this one, to then be the asbestos sheet normal. Let's just do Control A. I'm going to try and do it so it matches up with it, really, if that makes sense. So we're going to go asbestos sheet diffuse. I'm going to go here, you. Let's go top down. And then project from view bounds. This might work, it might not. But I'm up for the challenge. Move you up slightly and set origin to geometry. Now all we need to do really is scale X until it matches. If you guys catch my drift, because it should be translucent then in Giant's editor, while still retaining the same wave. Yeah, it's just a bit further in both sides. It should be a direct fit in these as well. So the thing is, with each individual one, you can just move the G, or with G then, shall I say, until enough matches. Because it shouldn't enough match all the way. Okay. And I'm hoping by just shift duplicating, rotating to 90, should in theory give us exactly the same as what we need on this other side. And you could judge it by doing that. Like that. So obviously this will be obsolete as well, but they should let natural light in then. So we're going to say gutters. So if we went up into the Dutch barn, we'd duplicate you. And we shall move you to grain sheds. Rotate Z 90 and scale X -1 because I'm going to be picky. And I think we need to scale Y -1 as well. Rotation scale. Right, and just to finish off, we'll cover the bottom. And drag you up. Oh, what's not right, you know? There you go. My bad. I turned X-ray off. That's set to coping. I think I'm going to do the same as what I did on that one. Gonna select the edges here. Bear with again. Yeah, so I'm just going to select these edges and we'll set them to be on. We'll just assign it to this one and go coping. Gives it a lot tidier look. So it doesn't look like you're looking at horrible textures. Okay. And drag you over the side. Scale Y -1. And then Shift N. I think that works quite cool. Okay, if I went Control A, what have I forgot to take modifiers off of? These, right. You're smooth by angle. So I make my life slightly easier. Take all the RSJs. Like this. Do Control J. And the same with our cross beams. They can all just match into the same one. This is a singular object. These can then get added together as well as a singular. Just makes my life easier when it comes to finishing it. And then there are windows then. I will set the origin to geometry. You're obviously green roof coping. That's green roof windows, green side paneling. Where is it? Yeah, green. That then would be down. These really should just be wood beams, I'm pretty sure. No, it's not, because for some reason the RSJs are in there. That then is going to be grain steel frame. Now it shall be wood. Yeah. Oh, no, we're missing one. That needs to go with these. Control J. Grain timber. Alright, that one can stay where it is. Windows. Coping. Concrete wall. The timber. And then the shutter frame. So shutter door. So they're gutters. Grain gutters. Do rotational scale on them. Grain roof. Grain coping. Grain windows. Grain side panel and frame. Timber. Shutter door frame. Okay. That seems all in good order. We're going to add in a cube again. We're going to set that to 0.1. And then I'm going to scale this up then to where you're going to be there. Going to bring you down. Going to scale on X slightly. If I open up this one, I can work out where we need everything else to be. So like say, that's all going to be concrete, but I'm going to extrude it from there across. And the main reason I'm going to do that is because I need somewhere for everything to set, like so. But then if you have a look here, I'm gonna bring us a side panel. So I'm gonna add another loop cut, but I'm gonna move it on Y to be there. Only for the reason of I don't want these pieces. So we'll just fill all that in. Okay, that looks great. Now I'm going to add in another loop cut. Going to move it on X to that there. And then I'm going to grab one more. We're going to move it back on X again to here. And I'm going to select all of this and I'm going to drop it slightly. Say that, I don't think I will. I think I'll just build up the other side. But it gives you the option if you wanted to drop these. Do I need to make that joinable? And you can drop this down slightly then. there, and pick the two sides, Control B, give it a bit of a bevel, like so, shade smooth, just so when you come out of the shed then it's not going to be a pain in the hoot. Right. So basically I have a concrete floor for the whole thing. So we'll call this grain concrete. Concrete floor. We'll enable you, and then we have this concrete then, which we will come up here on, and then we'll do to bounds. What did I call that? I think it's just called clean concrete. Was it concrete albedo? It's that one. So we'll just scale this up. I think by 10 should be more than enough. It just gives you the nice farm concrete. Nice flooring. The biggest thing that gets annoying with it is these sides. But they're not too bad. So the same as what we did before, I am going to change this to copings, which is another concrete. So we'll add another texture, assign it to coping and then a sign, just so it gives a nice edge there. So we'll assign, add you on to coping, and then we will smart unwrap, and then scale by 10 because that usually works. So now you have a nice darker side border, just so it matches in. You could, in theory, just assign this as well to concrete, and you'll just have concrete right through, which we might actually do instead. Okay, so that's rotation and scale. In theory, now that I'm starting to think about it, I want to get rid of this. I'll add it in after. And then the same with these pieces along the side here. We'll get rid. Because I can just select you, bring you out, and then press fill. This I can just merge to last, and then I can join you and you on there. Just join them just so that makes it a bit nicer, and then the same as what we did before, we'll just do this and this. We'll go smart UV unwrap there, scale by 10, GX to you there, happy days. Shade smooth, and then rotation and scale there. Alright, so this is the first shed done, pretty much done. So if we go Control A, I'll do the same again, rotation and scale. I'm going to snap the cursor to world origin, and then we're just going to move this over so the center of it is pretty much in the center. Like so. That's about right. There. Okay. So now that that's done, we'll go Control A again, just do rotation and scale, save the blend file, and giants. Right, I'm probably going to have issues with this again, but that's fine, there's no problem with that. So we'll save this in our folder here as grain shed 01, and we'll save it in there. and export. So that's done. So now we'll open up Giants Editor, not Blender, bear with. Okay. So there is more to do this, but just so I want to know what it looks like in-game first, we'll bring it in to the map, put it where we want it, but then I'm going to have to bring it in as a reference, not as a thing. So actually, where is my grain sheds? I'll open it up first, I'll assign the textures, and then we can throw it back then. Okay, so this one's obviously showing as... I don't actually know what you are. What are you? Concrete of some sort, but that's nothing to do with us here. Right. Transform the whole thing, put it in here. Just change the name to Grain Shed 1. So obviously now we know this is a steel frame. It's not galvanized, but we're probably going to have issues. Yeah, we are. I haven't done stuff. Never mind. That's irrelevant. Bye-bye. Right, back into Blender again, because that didn't work. Okay, so me being a donkey, I've forgotten. I just need to add in second UV maps and all these stuff. Just so I can get the height put on them. Because pretty much everything I don't need height on, I won't put anything on. But like the concrete we will as well, because that'd be nice to have. Okay, now we'll try it again. Save, and then I go N, and we'll just export over the top of it again. Open up Grain Shed. So bear with me again. We'll add a new window capture. And this one. So now you can see. Otherwise, if I didn't do it, it would have turned into a right issue. So, obviously, the same as what I just did a second ago. Don't know where that comes through. Grain Shed 1. Obviously, it loves giving this stuff. So, bear with me a second. Do apologise. If any of you have kids, you'll understand my issues. Right. So this is what we're going to use as a red metal. That's coming through quite dark in here. And gloss map I haven't got. I need to add a gloss map onto every single one, so we will do. This would be in placeables, negate textures, normal. And then we got the fun thing of going down to here and adding in our shaders. So we got the building shader, and then we're gonna do custom parallax and parallax map, and then back to in here, and I'm gonna get the height, and I'm gonna put that on. Don't know if that's gonna be good or not. I haven't a clue, but she's on. Because it tends to, for some reason, this one really doesn't like me. So the concrete floor, we'll add in. I think everything for this one's in here, which is concrete 3, I think. No? Why are you showing as white still? There we go. I can't do anything about that. And then shader again. I did try and do this before where I pin stuff, but it won't let me pin anything, so got a bit of an issue with all that. Then we'll add a parallax map. It's again in the same folder. And a height. Why isn't this showing up as concrete? Or if I picked the wrong concrete? Let's just make sure it's actually going to show up as something, like as a different texture. That's this one in it. Ah! Why does it have to be such a pain in the backside? It's because it brings everything through and it doesn't do anything else on it. Because this should be showing up. It shouldn't just be white. So we got the concrete there. Why aren't you coming through? So it works in everything else I have, just not on this. Why does it have to be a pain? Ah, fucking hell, what? The target file option can be used as a single... Oh, what does that mean? Okay, obviously doesn't want to work. Let's see if this works then. Okay, so that works. That's the first time I've had that issue happen. Does this even have a custom parallax map on it? It does not. Never mind. Oh, we're gonna have issues with this, I think. Right, but that one works. Okay. Okay, some things want to work, some don't. Okay, that's baffling me a bit. No idea. Normal map for the same one. Any of you have any idea what I've done wrong with that, please let me know. Sort of works. This is just this concrete. Well, you're not even wanting to show for you on that one, sorry. There you go, this is what I'm doing. You are watching stuff. If nothing shows up, tell me and I'll change it. Prefabs, you diffuse. And if anyone wants to use my wood textures or whatever, feel free. That's fine. If someone asks, just let them know I'm the one who made it. Okay, why won't this floor want to work? This is the thing that's really starting to wind me up now. I've used it before. No. Does a different texture work on it? Like, what if I went with Giants one? Texture shared, and then we just go the normal. Does that work? Yeah, we'll get away with it. That's fine. We'll get away with using that. Normal map. So the gloss map on that one is what's ruining this for some reason. So I haven't a clue what's wrong with that. Okay. Then we've got our roof again. I name everything properly, but it just wants to be an absolute pain in the hoot. So this is our texture for the roof. So that's the coping one. Oh my good god. I've just worked out why it's not working. Right. Let's go back again. Hey. Me being silly. Right. I just need to get the other one, which is the grainy concrete. Normal. And then under custom parallax, it's the grainy contract. Concrete contract height. Okay. It works. And then, did I add? Don't know if I actually added it on for this one. Yes, we did, because I wasn't stupid. Right. And then back here. You probably don't need to have all of that on, but it's a flat texture. But it looks 3D, so it works. Okay, you're all set up. You're set up. The roof. That's the clean concrete one, which we need to add normal. And that's fine. We need to go to this one then. This is now our roof, which is this one. Hey. Getting somewhere finally. Right. So normal. And then let's top it off with our shader. Yeah, for some reason, if I click here and we try and drag it over here, just doesn't want to go there, so I can't even make it as a quick thing. But everything else works apparently. So we just need displacement. Right, these are our windows, which again is in giant stuff. Data, maps, textures. I think it is at the bottom of this one. So I wanted with this one to get the window glass diffuse. So that's fine. And the specular. But then the normal, I wanted to use my thingy on. Not that it makes any difference, because you can't see the pissing thing. But it is there. Can I change this one to the other one? Can't really see it. What am I supposed to do here then? I'll just leave it. Is this one set up at 2? No. Did we set this to concrete? I'm assuming. Pretty sure it was something similar. Yeah. Did we add one on? We'll soon find out if we did or didn't. No, wrong way, Rod. Shaders. Oh, we did. And then textures. don't get me wrong, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. Like our concrete wall now, we want a rigid body. And this is also a rigid body. So is this. Probably should do that as a rigid body as well. Leave the roof open. So if we get rid of the light, that makes it look a lot more dim, doesn't it? So let's save that. I'll come back to this, but we'll test it now in here. So we'll import file, import as a reference, so it's not actually going to be downloaded into the map. And we'll pick it up here. I should just be able to shift click it, and here we are. Okay, bear with, I'm just going to reload this one because it's glitching a bit. So I need the maps, I have to hold the thing for it to save, otherwise it doesn't work. So get you off. Now we'll open it from inside this one. Let it load. Should be there in 2 seconds and we'll be loaded. Okay. Blender's not liking being open, so we'll shut that off. Yeah, so more or less, ignore these two, these are just a pain in the ass. But more or less what we're talking about is this is where I'm going to have the shed. And the other one will sit side by side to it. Let's see, this can also go back a bit as well. Do some terraforming quickly. Set it to the... So if we just remove the grass foliage has decided to take over, that'd be brilliant. Obviously it's quite hard because you can't always see what you're missing from outside giants, yeah? If we do this we can just do it nice and quickly. And like say here, I know it's a bit thing, but I'm going to have something here. So I'm going to flatten this down, bring it back slightly like this. Then we'll do this around then. Doesn't matter if it crosses over either, to be fair. I think it matches in alright. Just for the time being, with the door, I know it's going to be showing up there for now. But we'll just save it. I do want to load up the game and have a look around it, but... In terms of scale-wise, I think this works quite nicely. So let's just come in here and take this back. Just file you off from here. Because the other shed is going to be the other way. So if we just take this one, I'll just duplicate it for now. This is not final. We're going to rotate it by 90. So it's more or less going to be a shed that sits here. In that space. But there won't be a door there. So if I just do this, for instance, that's probably better. The door's going to be on the front. And then this original one is just going to sit flush. Near enough, like that. So you'll have two tidy sheds right next to each other as grain stores. And obviously this is where the front of the other shed is then. So you'll have a... Can't decide with this one whether to have it as the same distance as them pieces of frame. And then a roller door again like this one. Okay, can we shut this back down? Like so. Yeah. That's the plan. Anyway, what I'm thinking. Like say with this one we can get rid of the concrete floor on that one. That's probably make it easier. And let's rotate it back. You could have it like that, in theory. But I don't know which way would be best, because obviously all I'd have to do, I could just use the same shed twice. Like that. So you got one way in there, another way in here, but you've got two really big openings for grain storage on the farm. And it would save me a bit of modelling time doing it that way. Just give this a hoot there. And we'll change it back on to display capture. Well, that's what I'm thinking anyway. You know, that actually probably could work better than my original plan. In theory. Because then you got the side door there sort of thing. Hey Ben, welcome along, bud. Nice to see you back again. Yeah, because then I could put like... You could park on the side there then. That could work nicely. There's nothing to say. Might be a daft one, right? But we could drop this one down. Like so. And then with this concrete pad, we can make a ramp that goes from here pretty much down to that to split the gap. It's not a big one. But then you add a bit more variation in height. I'm just taking shots in the dark here and just going with the flow. I'm gonna not opt in for your typical old farms then, shall we say. I'm not gonna have like your silos. This is just gonna be how this is based. I'm feeling like now I know my style a bit more with this farm, we can bring this down, because I don't really want too much open by here. But I'll have it a bit open. Like that. And then this then will go on. I think it's asphalt we put down, is it? Yeah. Up to the shed. Like that instead. And make it grass. So you'll have like a nice big area to turn around in. And then it does give me an option to have that as a small storage field then. So this will be open here. So you come down there, you can either come in here to these two sheds, whip it around, and then you come in from the lane on the side here. I might put a double gate across there then. And then obviously, anyone wants to extend the farm, poof, you've got that big area. Which I find could be quite good to have. Let's add in some foliage. I'm gonna go grass. Silly thing is, you could have like a nice big oak tree sat down, something like that. Imagine like a gate across here then, with a gated area. This could work a bit better than what I was originally thinking, mind. I do quite like the idea. My biggest issue is going to be flipping the two of them up. So if we just get rid of this. And obviously our hedges are halfway in the hedge. That can't happen. Like, I could leave that back piece open here. Again, more storage if you had bales or whatever. But have it as a nice little side track that comes down. Aha, yeah, I like that. So, okay, I actually like that a lot more than what my original plan was. So this bit is going to be shut off. I like this idea, right. So basically, coming from the house, if you come down into the house this way, you can come on and onto the yard. But it's a bit tight, so if you had big combines or anything, you'd come down this back track, which I'm now going to continue on straight from here. So down this way. So we'll just get rid of this big gap here. Okay, and then I think what I did with that one was I'm pretty sure it was mud track, which is here. So you imagine if we just brought it this way instead, and then we had a double gate here, you'd have a quick and easy way to get combines through, as well as the other stuff. So join that all up there, and then our little track then, that'll go behind the sheds to our new bale storage or equipment storage yard behind the sheds. Yeah, what do you think? That could work better. So just smooth all this out. Yeah, I think that could work in our favour a bit more. Nice double gates. There. We'll mix this in there with concrete as well, to show it like coming in. Asphalt then, should we say. Hey CB, how you doing, bud? Hey Kiwi Gaming, how you doing, bud? Nice to see you again. Get rid of these. Just need to flatten this out slightly. Like so. Let's go gravel as well. Mix gravel in. Sure, it's been repaired at some point. Asphalt cracks as well. Okay. Let's limit it to grass. Yeah, I know you can do that, but I know the placeable the build-in shader itself does do it. So you don't have to worry too much. The only problem I got is my windows on the sheds. I've done them. They are there. Where are we? They are there. They have the textures and all on them. But yeah, no idea. They just don't show up that well. But they're there, which means you have like natural light coming in when you're in here. And obviously you've got roller doors I can add in. That looks like a nice tidy little compact arable farm, if I don't say so myself. I will probably make this a field. What would you reckon about having maybe like a dirt track running from here and then connect it into our little storage bay behind the sheds as another entrance into the farm. Because you obviously got some nice bigger fields there. That one you can make into one big one. This I'm not sure what I'm doing with. But like say if you're up on in these fields or whatever and you come in from this way, instead of driving all the way down that way just to come back on yourself, you could just go down a really dodgy track to here and then just cut off and into the farmyard, yeah. Okay. Don't need to tell me twice. Right. So I reckon if we go here. This will be our nice little entrance down into the farm then. Okay, so the same as before. We'll start with asphalt cracks. We have got a field entrance here, see, so it would work a lot better. So, let's bring in some road cracks. Make it a bit more... I feel like that's too dominant. I'll bring this one in as well. Now then, start changing to gravel. There we got mud tracks then, or we can limit to asphalt cracks. So slowly get it into dirt. What's that with the windows? I probably can't change it anyhow for some reason, because they... I'll have to reopen it up in a minute. If... no, we don't open Modhub, just open a file. We've just saved it, we don't need to do that. Maps, textures, screenshot. Aha! Ah, yeah, that looks wicked. Right. I knew I did the right thing with them. Oh, that's wicked. Right. Oh, that's cool. That's a win. It's in as a reference. It's not in as actual import because I need to do it into grain sheds. Well, it decides to load back in again. Oh yeah. Oh, hell of a difference. Wow. Yeah. Actually looks like it's got the grooves in the roof. I love that. Okay. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're making a back entrance in now. So, let's go back up here. Oh, that's brilliant. Really happy. That's changed that around. Okay, let's bring you down. And then we can change you back to... We'll go gravel small. Actually coming into the back into the yard, yeah. Then cracks. Concrete shattered, because you know farmers always do things in weird and wonderful ways. That's a proper win, that one. I now that it's happened, I know I had it before, and it wasn't. It was something I've come across in the past, then, shall we say? And I just forgot because I haven't done much. Okay, so if we add in some muddy tracks in here as well, sort of show like the normal wear pattern of where tractors would have gone. We can also add in some heavier mud in places. Like say in the middle area it's a bit more boggy. And usually at the edge, you usually get more bogged, you know. And then with our concrete we'll do it shattered as well, because it would have at some point been a concrete slab. And then to top it off, can I add in some normal concrete as well, from where some of it's still holding its ground. Just to split the textures up more so. Okay. So, I'll get rid of this. Right, why aren't... Oh, get it off. Enable limit to as well. Right. We're now going to enable it to this and put it on. Same with this, just bring it down. That seems like a nice back end way into the farm. Okay. So I'm going to put a different type of grass then in here. We're going to go meadow middle. I'm going to leave it to grass patchy instead. Like so. And then to add it in, we'll do weeds on grass patchy, we'll do big alive, we'll enable noise, just so it gives a bit more of a random throw around. And then we can add in forest plants of dry branches, and we'll put that onto the gravel in a random patch. Like so. I've honestly, with everything I've done here, I've not used any inspiration or anything. It's just all out of my own mind. Okay. Get in there. That looks like a good bit. If you wanted to like paint over this, then in game you can as well, and you can make it newer. But I think if we leave this as an open-sided field, maybe. I feel like this is an area I need to just quickly touch on. Just need to give it a bit more healthy thing here. Yeah, so it's a bit nicer of a track. Might put the wooden fence down here actually. There's a nice little run. Makes it a bit more awkward, because that's what British maps are. Awkward. Okay, right, I'm happy with where we've currently got to. Obviously double gates. That's going to be a gated into the house. But I might gate it. Sorry. I might wall it off from this side. Rather than around the curve. Because then you can put crap in the hedge. And then double gate onto the yard. Progress is looking more like a farmyard. I'm going to get rid of this tree for now. We'll add it back later. But we're getting there. And it looks a lot more promising. So we don't actually need to drop it. Only about 2 foot down. It should be fine. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I'll probably be back on tonight again to carry on. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful Wednesday and are still going to have a wonderful evening. And I'll catch you guys later on. Till then, I'll see you.